So reason number 1800 and, what did I say in that last video, 1874, 75, that everything that's worth having is free, i.e. the sun, super free. It's pretty much always there, else we're going to have a lot of other problems. There is a huge misconception and a huge opportunity for giant corporations to make, a sort of 5% truth, which they're really good at. When you tell a lie, but you make it like kind of true and based off of 5% truths, then it's easier to get people to fight about it and to feel really passionately about it, rather than it being super obviously wrong. Then people would figure that out. But the 5% truth is that the sun is bad and it causes skin cancer and things like that, rather than look at it through a certain lens and a certain perspective. Let me lay that out. Makes it so easy. Different skin colors, right? This is another way to look at it. Typically, people who like the sun or beach bums or whatever, will be thinking that lighter skin is bad. So I'll just frame it in a different way, a different perspective. The lighter your skin, the paler you are, the more efficient your skin is at getting vitamin D from the sun, okay? So obviously that comes with cons if you want to be outside all day. The darker your skin is, the less efficient it is at getting vitamin D, which is a con if you don't want to be outside all day. If you're a video game, TV, indoorsy type of person, you're going to want to just stay inside, but actually you need more time in the sun, the darker your skin is, to get adequate vitamin D. Why is this important? So vitamin D supplements are always sold, and they're a waste. Vitamin D is one of the most important things, right? I feel like it's cliche to say that. Sleep is so important, this is so important, tracking your calories, they're all important. But vitamin D, of all of the vitamins, is one of the most complex ones for reasons that are above my pay grade. But I know it acts as a hormone. It's not just a simple vitamin that we need. It has a crazy role, and it affects like every cell with its hormone capabilities and all of its other capabilities. But there's really only one real way to get vitamin D. Our skin has a whole system inside of it, how it gets vitamin D from the sun. It needs ultraviolet light, and this and that, and a whole bunch of other important stuff. You don't really need to know that. Just know that you're going to get it from the sun. A supplement, it just doesn't work. And you can just Google that and figure out why. There's like a zillion reasons. I have notes, and I'm not smart enough to talk about it off the top of my head, but there's just so many issues with when you take a supplement, not just vitamin D, pretty much every supplement, but especially vitamin D, that, it just doesn't work. It even causes some of the problems of having vitamin deficiency in the first place just by taking the supplement. Instead, you should get it from the sun, free. No one makes money off of you getting sun. No one makes money off of it like they do selling vitamin D pills. The way it works would be that the lighter you are, the less time you need in the sun to get that appropriate amount of vitamin D, right? So people instead are just like putting on God knows what kind of chemicals and products sold by giant corporations that don't care about us and would happily profit off of our sickness, slathering up with sunscreen and all that to block the sun, and I'm sure it does all kinds of other horrible things, instead of just sucking it up and owning up to what situation you're in depending on your skin color. If you're a very pale person, then your ideal amount is going to be to get a small amount of sun, half an hour now or something like that. Depending, better than I can tell you. If you go out with no sunscreen and nothing, and you're at the beach or whatever, or just outside, how long does it take for you to start to get sunburn on a super hot day, or on a not super hot day, or on a not super sunny day, whatever? Everything is all relative. But okay, if it's going to be an hour, get 30 minutes. After that, cover up, and then do that often to just get that vitamin D, get all the benefits from the sun, as I said in the other video, getting the light in your eyes, all of that. Then after that, you can just wear something really light. They have all kinds of summer clothes. People in places like Miami are, don't want to be slathered up with chemicals all the time. You'll see them wearing like flowy summer things that cover all of their skin. If you have dark skin, then, go outside. You're going to need to go outside a lot more. The darker you are, the more you need. I'm pretty much outside 6 to 8 hours at a time, just on my bike, running, getting tons of sun. I'm lucky that I'm somewhere in the middle, and, I can get as much as I already kind of would like to be outside anyway. So that just tells you, if you're a lot darker than me, then this is why we're seeing a lot of vitamin D deficiencies in black populations in certain places. I read some study about Somalian people that are living in Norway or Denmark or something, and Sweden, I think it was, and they're just like suffering with all kinds of different diseases that, of course, are linked to vitamin D deficiency, like basically everything is. So put the effort into getting vitamin D from the sun, not from a supplement, is going to be your best bet, and act appropriately depending on your skin color. An easy perspective, different perspective to look at this, to make it super clear. If any part of you listening to this is thinking, I don't know, the sun can cause skin cancer, it's as easy as this. Water. If you take, an 8-year-old, a very small, 4'2", whatever, 60-pound individual, and they drink 3 gallons of water in 8 hours, they could probably die I stand corrected on what the exact amount is, but there is an amount. You can drink way too much water. That's how Bruce Lee died. You drink so much water, it dilutes all of your electrolytes. That happens with way less than what will kill you. Just drinking too much water will dilute your electrolytes. But say an 80-pound, 60-pound child drinks 3-4 gallons every day, if that's even possible, they can eventually explode their stomach, I think. I think people have died doing that. There was some challenge, like who can drink 3 gallons of water in an hour or whatever, and like some 16-year-old died because their stomach exploded, and other things that aren't important. The point is after seeing that, are you like, oh, I don't drink water. Water's dangerous. Doesn't make any sense. Water's vital. Water's super important. But in a correct amount. I actually almost never just drink water because I get so much water from fruits, watermelon, coconut water, raw milk. There's water in all those things. There's even water in chicken and steak and stuff like that in very small amounts. So I'm very hydrated. When I drink more water, I feel more thirsty because it's diluting the potassium and the sodium. It's diluting the electrolytes. I'm actually less hydrated if I just add a bunch of water, and I know that because I sometimes do add a lot of water because I put it in my protein drink, and I'm a glutton. So I like, stretching it out and being able to drink half a gallon at a time, and I drink 2 of those in a day because I'm a monster, and it's just way too much water. It's very unnecessary. I feel more tired. I'm peeing all the time, and it's clear, which some people think is good. But when you look at it like, okay, on a typical day, I'm getting 9,000 milligrams of potassium and 4,000 milligrams of sodium. When I add that gallon extra of water on top of whatever other liquid I consume that day, I'm still getting 9,000 milligrams of potassium and 4,000 milligrams of sodium. So now that's just way diluted with so much water. It's a bad thing that I do sometimes. And it's a bad thing a lot of people do by just guzzling down all this water. And that's me. I bike and run and walk all day. I'm like a cardio monster. And then when I'm not doing that cardio, I'm boxing, which is like cardio. So I'm sweating a lot, and it's a lot of water. So the same thing. Then if you take someone who's huge, 7 foot, Shaquille O'Neal, if Shaquille O'Neal drank 3 gallons, I have my math is saying that even that's too much for him, but like he probably won't die. He probably won't die in 5 years if he did it every day. He'll just be diluting his electrolytes. So 60-pound person, 300 and whatever pounds, giant Shaquille O'Neal, different water amounts. It's the same with the sun. Everyone needs the sun. Every single person needs the sun. Everyone needs the vitamin D from the sun, not from www.wedon'tcareaboutyouat.all.com, BlackRock supplement company. Everyone needs vitamin D from the sun. You just need a certain amount. So if you're super pale and you're from Ireland or Norway or whatever, those humans have adapted to less sun because there's a lot less sun up there, so they have whiter skin and they are able to get that vitamin D that's vital faster and quicker. There's like less blockages. But then because of that, I guess, or the same way that a 60-pound person is much smaller, they can't get that much sun and that much vitamin D, or they'll start burning, and so that system gets fried in some way, and that's going to be too much sun for them. You don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. You don't throw out vitamin D and sun and all the quality that comes from that free thing that's literally outside every day, thank God. You don't throw all that out just because if you get too much, you will get burned. So act accordingly and figure out where you're at and try to get that vitamin D from the sun as best as you can. It's free. Skin cancer is from a whole bunch of other things that are not simply the sun. Oh, he got the sun. So, I guess people do typically say things like, if you got too much sun, skin cancer. Sure, I guess so. But hands down, you need more sun in your life. 9 times out of 10, you need more sun. And if you can somehow get it from like a window in your house or whatever, and you can have less clothes on to get vitamin D absorption all around your body, the better. And just get the exact amount. Don't be the 60-pound person that gets 3 gallons and dies and then says, oh, it was the sun. And then don't be Shaquille O'Neal and have, a glass of water every 8 weeks, or you'll die of thirst. It's the same thing, vitamin D. And then this vitamin D that you get from the sun has just an endless list of benefits to you that, again, I want to drill this, it's free. The sun is out there, get it. Everything that's worth having is free. Think of all the things people do when they're sick. They stay inside, they get away from the sun, they're having all these problems. Now their body is obviously needing more nutrients, more vitamin D, more everything else to try and make the system work better and fight off the sickness. But instead, they probably do all the worst things. We're told to do everything bad. You stay inside, don't get any sun. They eat complete garbage like chicken noodle soup, which, I don't think there's anything wrong with chicken or soup, but chicken noodle soup that people buy, it's just filled with all kinds of fake gums and this and that to water down, to make that product cheaper and more profitable for giant corporations, when instead they could be having, I don't know, raw milk, some steak, or just fasting, maybe not eating, depending on the sickness, to fast and starve out any kind of problems you have. But main thing, get the sun, get some sun, go outside when you're sick. This is going to help you. Getting the sun on a daily basis and making sure you're maximizing your vitamin D, your free vitamin D outside, is probably going to stop you from getting sick most of the time in the first place. But then if you are, make an effort. Like, okay, I'm feeling like crap. Open a window, go outside, sit outside, be sick outside. You're just sick laying in bed. watching TV, looking at your phone, all these things. You're just like, oh yeah, since I'm sick and laying in bed, I'm going to ruin my sleep tonight. Like, what's the point of that? Go outside, look at the sun, look at the trees. You'll probably have a much better time and a much faster recovery. So vitamin D, it's free.